Hello, Cakenistas. It's me, Marisha. I'm sitting here. I've got my lights on. I've got my pillows behind me. So that must mean one thing. It's time for a cake tale. I'm all nice and cozy. It's raining outside. It is pouring. The old man is definitely snoring. My tea of choice today, in my favorite Betty Boop mug. I love Betty Boop. I love Betty Boop. I'm doing green tea with pomegranate. It's Bigelow. Is that how you say it? Bigelow, Bigelow? I don't know. No. And instead of Splenda, I am learning to use stevia, which has a weird aftertaste that I don't like. It's a lot better for you than Splenda. This is part 2 of the previous cake tale, which was fixing the ultimate cake disaster. So if you didn't watch that video, then you're gonna have to, because this one just won't mean as much. I was working at a hotel, just a chef working on the line by myself. A guest came in. It was for a baby shower party, and she brought the cake for her daughter, and en route to the hotel destroyed the cake. Just took like a sharp turn. By a quick prayer and a miracle, some other type of innovation, I was able to fix that cake for her. No thank you, you know, or anything for doing that for her. They just went on about their party and had a good time, and were kind of obnoxious from what I heard. But anyway, the last thing that I said in that cake tale was that I did receive some form of payment. So with that being said, now we can begin. So I'll go back to work. Normal routine, going in, starting my prep work, working the line, talking to myself, pretending that I'm on the beach. The GM, who wasn't there that night, she comes in and she's like, Marisha, I heard about what happened. How did you fix that cake? And I tried to sum it up for her, and she just said, thank you so much. That was amazing, and thanks, you know. I was like, all right, great. About a couple of weeks later, the GM comes back at me again. She says, Marisha, there's a contest being held by Marriott. It's a nationwide contest. It's for the employees. Some way that a staff member has helped or went out of their way to help a guest. You know, she's like, I think we have a really good chance of winning with your story. And I was like, oh, okay, that is a good story. There's a good chance, you know? So yeah, so what do you think? Should I enter? I was like, yeah, that's fine with me. Hey, you know, do what you want to do. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna see, you know, the entry rules, and I'm gonna check it out and I'll get back to you. I was like, all right. So I went back to work, and then within the next couple of days she comes back and she's like, okay, I'm gonna enter. Now I just need you to give me all of the details. What happened? So she's standing there with a book, like a, you know, a paper and a pen. I just told her, you know, from start to finish what happened, what I used in the cake to fix it, how I made the buttercream out of stuff from the bar. It was such an odd day because it was also about to be Halloween. So there were like pumpkins everywhere, and the staff, we were having like a pumpkin contest. The strangest themed pumpkins ever, and I'm trying to stay focused on this story, but I'm also looking like, is that a Simpsons pumpkin over there? Is that a Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz pumpkin? She writes all about it, basically writes an article. Now listen, one thing about me, I'm a writer. I could be a journalist and I can always find a typo. I really wanted to say, can I just write this myself? So she came back, all right, I entered us into the contest, and you're representing the hotel. I don't know if the grand prize was $500 or $1,000. I do not know if that was the grand or what. And then it was like $250. And then after that, I don't know if it was a bunch of little prizes or just nothing at all. They're not gonna choose a winner until about 5 or 6 months out, because once again, it's a whole nationwide contest. It's a pretty big brand, so you know, that was to be expected. So I said, okay. 5 or 6 months go by. I'm at home and I'm in bed, because I literally will stay in bed until it's time to start my shift. I don't care if my shift starts at 2:30, 3 p.m. because I'm up all night editing these videos. So I probably didn't go to sleep till 4 a.m. Anyway, that's beside the point. So I get a phone call from my supervisor, and she's like,
Marisha, you have to come in here. We have to talk. We have to have a meeting.
I'm like, okay. Like, I hate that. I'm gonna be there in 30 minutes. Like, you can't wait for 30 minutes. Now I'm all anxious. So that's what I did. I came in 30 minutes early. I go into the kitchen. I'm looking for something to just be different. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this feels so weird. And then the supervisor comes in, and she just does like this. And I'm like, okay. She doesn't even say anything to me. I'm following her, and we walk into the office. I walk into the room, and it's the GM, the food and beverage director, probably like 6 or 7 people. It's just like all eyes are on me. Hey everybody, you know, hi, how's it going? And I'm standing there like, then the GM is like, Marisha, remember that contest? Yes. How could I forget it, you know? Well, I just want to say congratulations because you won! You won the contest. And then everybody in the room starts clapping, yay! And giving me hugs. So they're like, yeah, you won $500. Congratulations. I'm like, nice. Cool. Like, nice, guys. We did that. They're staring at me. Like, you know when you can tell that people are expecting something from you and you don't have anything to really give? And they're just looking at you, like, trying to look into your soul, like, do I see anything? I didn't know what to say. I'm like, do you want an acceptance speech? I don't have anything, you know? This is a blessing. This is crazy. This is amazing. But I am not an introvert. I'm not even really an emotional person. I'm like, man, that is wonderful. I'll pay a bill, you know? And they're joking. They're like, oh, you're gonna take us shopping? You're gonna take us out to dinner? What are you gonna do with all that money? It pains me to be so nonchalant, but I can't fake it. And the director, he's like, I said that you were gonna start crying. And they were like, yeah, I thought you were gonna start crying too. And I'm like, no, not over $500. Pay off my school loans? Oh my gosh. Pay rent for a couple of months. Pay rent for 1 month. You might see a tear. Buy me a business. You might see a tear. Like, you're coming at me. You're gonna pay my school loans. Like, yeah, you're gonna see a tear shed. But $500, that is a blessing. That will help. I'll take it. And what's crazy is the director. His energy. He's sitting there in a chair, swiveling. Congratulations. I wanted to say, skirt! You're a hater. The person who won the contest put in the work. You may have tried to take my glory moment. You may have taken it. But dag nabbit, if this doesn't give it back to me. Honestly, it was really, really, really nice. Because they were more outwardly excited than I was. I'm just very like, I'm very cool, you know? We're leaving the office and the supervisor, she's too much. She's like,
I had you nervous, didn't I? You thought you were getting in trouble.
You did get me. But I don't believe in getting trouble at work. Unless, you know, you done stole something and you're about to go to jail. You're just coming at me because I overcooked a piece of chicken and somebody complained. That's not trouble. Later on, about a week later, the GM forwarded an email to me, and then the management group that actually was managing the hotel, we'll call them True Management Group. All I see is, Marisha, you have no idea how big of a deal this is. We are so proud of you. This is so amazing. And then she attaches something. And I don't even look at the attachments because I just don't look at attachments when I open up emails. I think a few days later, I'm like, let me go back. So I open it up and it's an article from True Management Group. It's an article about me. Let's read, shall we? So I'm just gonna call the hotel the Bloop Bloop Hotel, okay? The title is Bloop Bloop Hotel Saves the Shower. The Bloop Bloop by Bloop Hotel hosted a baby shower last fall. As the guests were bringing in the cake, they accidentally dropped it. That's not right. They didn't drop the cake. They were driving and it fell over in the car. But, you know, our cook. And you know what's crazy? Titles don't define who you are. But if you're calling me a head chef, don't write cook. But it's okay, because a job does not define who you are. Your experience, your knowledge, your education in a professional world, that defines who you are. Our cook, Marisha, is also a pastry chef and jumped in to help. You know, I don't see myself be a pastry chef. I'm more so like a pastry artist. To me, pastry chefs do the chocolate, the little stuff and little tarts. I can do it, but I don't, because I don't want to. She was able to use paper cups to create dowels and fruit juice to color icing to match the original color of the cake. Facts. She created a piping bag out of an ice bucket and rebuilt the cake. Not facts. I never once said that I created a piping bag out of an ice bucket bag. I don't know where that came from. We had a piping bag. The only thing that I had to do to adjust the piping bag was the tip didn't match what was piped onto the cake, so I just bent the tip outward. All while running the line and preparing dinner for our restaurant guests. Facts! That was so crazy. The general manager submitted Marisha's story to Marriott's live loyalty contest, and Marisha won for the select service tier in the Americas. Marisha will receive a prize of $500. And then it's got the pictures of the cake, which you guys, if you saw part 2, have already seen. And then when you scroll down, and I'm scrolling, I'm like, oh my gosh. It's that cheeky picture that I did not want to take. It's like so bad when you're not ready, when you're just not ready. I just was not ready for a picture. I didn't even have on my chef coat that day because it was hot. I just had like a black shirt on. I said, I'm not doing it today. I would have loved for a picture like this to have on my chef coat, you know, with my name on it, and for my hair to actually look a little bit realistic. Maybe, you know, a little bit of lip gloss, but hey, because it's gonna be out there forever, right? Wow, that's amazing. You know, I got recognized for the cake. I got my pay for the cake. Now, speaking of the pay, this was in February when this article was written, and when I actually won the contest. March goes by. April, they're like, oh, you should be getting it in April. May goes by, still nothing. June comes, and I finally get a paper to sign that says that I will be receiving the $500. I accept it. It took months to get that money. I'm looking in my pay, and I'm like, where is it? I literally could not find the $500. You know that when you get, you know, paid for the week, you know when you've got a $500 extra, just like on top of what you would already get. And I'm like, I don't see it. Where's it at, Sway? Sway, you got the answers? Because I don't. How, Sway? So months go by. I've left the hotel by now. And I contacted Human Resources, and I'm like, I have to find out what's going on with that. And I'm told that I definitely got paid for it. So I said, okay, well, if I got paid for it, just show me proof. That's all I need. Because I'm looking, I went back, looked at all my stubs, my internet stubs. I didn't see anything that said like an extra 500. And I get a response saying that, oh, it looks like you were paid 300 extra for this one pay week, but you may still be owed another 200. I'm going to contact the higher ups, and I'm going to get back to you to see what they say. And you know what? You know when you just take your losses with your losses? I never heard back. It's been months, and I just do not feel like, hey, you know, following up the follow-up of the follow-up. We could have that conversation face to face, but I just really don't feel like going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth just to probably eventually, you know, come into a brick wall. $300 is about what I would have charged for, you know, the cake anyway, plus delivery. So hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take the article. I'll take the recognition. I'll take whatever I can get. And I'll accept it, and I'm blessed, and I'm thankful. And that was that. So that completes this cake tale. And how I feel about it, I feel slightly unresolved because I'm like, where's my cake, you know? I gave her her cake, now can I get my full cake? I hope that you guys enjoyed this cake tale. Once again, if you haven't seen part 1, the 1 hour to fix a cake disaster video, please watch that so that this one can make sense. I have more cake tales for you. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to this channel and press on the notification bell. Let me know if this is similar to anything that you have gone through. Your comments under these cake tales, they have me just sipping tea all day. I will see you soon, okay? Bye, Cakenistas and Cakenistos.